Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be reviewing my 6th match from the 2023 Midwest Classic. If you did not see my last video, I did end up winning my 5th match, which put my record at 5-0. And again, to reiterate from my first video, this is a team event. So 5 wins equals 5 points for my team. But 5 wins also means even if I lose the rest of my games, since there's 9 games total, I would have a positive impact on my team, which I did not want to let my team down, especially as the strong player. So having that kind of reassurance that I have at least pulled my weight was very satisfying. But of course, we still have 4 more matches to go, so still have to dig in and still compete. But with that being said, for my 6th match, I am playing a 1-don. And so the handicap was 2 stones. And yeah, let's get into it. And I'm going to give Black a lot of credit in this opening. Black played basically a perfect opening, at least in my eyes. I did not see any mistakes from Black. Now again, in the opening, there is a lot of variance, and there's a lot of things that are really up to personal preference. But even with that, Black did not falter basically anywhere. Like here, you can't say ignoring the lower left is a mistake. It's just a preference. And because I played c6, usually, like let's say I'd gone elsewhere completely and Black had gone here, I would have probably played the very common, very standard upper left Joseki, because I like getting the cash and I'm confident in my ability to not let Black's left side get too big, or at least I can get equal compensation elsewhere if Black does take the left side. So yeah, if I had played elsewhere, like in the lower right, I would have done that. But imagine this. Let's say I'd done this right and then Black plays here. I would not play c6 next, because I would be fighting over a very small slice of the board. Like in this kind of position, we have the whole right side, the whole bottom side, even the top side. But here, I would be fighting over just 5 lines. Just 5 lines. So imagine I have already played here, though. Well, if I do the Joseki I like, it would be as if I would play c6 next, if I had the chance. So because of that, and I didn't like the placement of this stone, I decided to do something different. And so I pincer. And again, this pincer does make sense because I'm using my stone at c6. Black attaches at 3-3. And this next move I learned from Inseong from the Go Congress. If you've been to the Go Congress, I'm sure you've sat in on a lecture by Inseong, one of the best teachers that the Western Go world has. For sure. But I remember he went over this Joseki. Obviously here, the 2 common moves, 3-ish maybe, you can consider c18, c16, or even just extending across. But he explored the idea of this move. And yeah, ever since he explained this move, I've really taken a liking to it. In fact, I remember playing this during my open game in last year's Go Congress. I believe it was my 2nd game. Now, I did end up losing that game, but it was not because of this Joseki, directly at least. But yeah, this move here. What is this move really doing? Well, it's basically any other variation you do, Black's going to get something on the outside. So this move is trying to take the outside and let Black have the corner. And especially with the stone at c6, getting the outside would be very nice. And while there are ways for Black to avoid that happening, Black will usually just take the corner, because the corner is quite nice. So Black bumps. That is the proper move. If you hane underneath, this is pretty much a mistake after this double hane by White. White's going to capture the stone at d15. And I'm still going to get the corner, but it's going to be sealed in, and White's outside is going to be even worth more. So Black does play the proper move, so pull back, and now Black has 2 choices. Black in the game chose to kick, which forces me to stand up. Now black can descend, and then I can jump here. The other choice black has is to simply go and make the tiger's mouth, and then white will cover by playing this knight's move, double knight's move. So the difference is, when you kick here and descend, black's corner is bigger, but white's outside is more secure. It's harder to cut through white's shape. When you play this one, though, your corner is smaller, but white's outside is thinner. It's easier to cut through. So it's a trade-off. What does black want? Now, I'll be honest. As white, I prefer when black does this one and gives me this outside. Because, again, I'm willing to give up the corner to take an outside. So the better my outside is, I don't mind if black gets a few extra points. So I prefer this one as opposed to this one. Although, of course, I will do either one. But yeah, this is, again, just a preference. Black can pick either or, like so. And again, you can see now my c6 stone, as opposed to if we do just a very normal joseki without much thought, my stone at c6 is kind of in an awkward place. But after the joseki in the game, my stone's actually in a very nice place. If we change the order of moves, something like this, I could very much see myself playing c6 on the next move. Because now that I have some thickness in the upper left, extending would obviously be pretty nice. So, yeah. So again, using the stones that you have on the board to make, you already have on the board, I should say, to make your decisions is a very important thing to think about while you're deciding where to play. And again, black very calmly just backs off. I know a lot of players, Q players and low dom players, that would see this left side and start to get a little jealous. Even I'll play one more move and white jumps. I know a lot of players that would play some move, even if they think they're being light and they're like, oh, let me play some sort of sabaki move, something like this. Or not sabaki move, just a reduction move. It's not the right idea, because when you're playing, especially in the opening, the idea should be to build, not to be reducing. So this isn't really making black any points when black plays this move. So even if your opponent is getting a large area like on the left side, you should try to combat that with your own large area. So I like what black does here. Black just plays O17. Again, this direction is good. Imagine black, I don't know, plays the lower right. White getting O17, again, is a nice extension from white's wall in the upper left. So I like this move. So then I approach. Black plays under. We can see a kind of a clash of styles in this game right now, right? Black has 4 corners. So black obviously likes territory, which again is fine. And then shoulder hit. And again, we can see kind of the difference in the players is majority of black stones, besides maybe 3 of them, are all on the 3rd line. And all of white stones, besides, again, maybe 3 or 4 of them, 5. There's a few more, but all of white stones are on the 4th line or higher. So again, we can see territory versus thickness. And if you ask an AI, it's still, even with the handicap, it's still an even game. Like black hasn't lost the handicap advantage yet. So then black pincers. So I descend, black stands up, and then extends. So again, black's flow is very nice in this game. I like what black's doing. Again, would I have personally invaded here? No. No, I would not have. Especially after white has jumped, being able to protect the corner is very important. So I would be looking to play maybe something like this, and then maybe descend like this. It's hard to say exactly, but getting b4 is actually quite a big move, even if maybe I can try to get it in centapes, if possible. And then maybe I can do something else, something like this. Again, maybe white's thickness or Morio looks imposing, but all of white's stones are basically on the left side of the board, or at least all the stones that are making points. So yeah, this would be more of what I would do if I was black. But again, there's nothing wrong with black wanting to fight here. Stand up. Because black can get a very natural extension next. So then I can slide. Again, now that black is sealed in, though, that's one of my goals. Whenever you're playing, if you can seal your opponent into the corners, that's very good. It's a very good thing to do. And we can also see black is starting to get a lot of groups as well. Black has 5 groups on the board. And we're only at move 32 to be exact. So, yeah, black is not going to be making many big areas. But black is just trying to make all the groups live. And if black can live everywhere, you know, white's only points are really going to be on the left side. So that's what black is banking on in this game. I need to do something with my 3 stones, so shoulder hit. Again, I want to attack the bottom stones, so I lean on black's nearby strong stones. If black plays very directly, I should say, all of these stones that I'm getting are helping me attack the bottom, and black's not really gaining a whole lot with these stones here. So that's why black actually pushes up once and then jumps. And again, this makes a lot of sense because there's even a cut here at G6 for white to worry about. So I peep and then I fix my cut. Then black jumps. Again, black is helping the bottom side group, so I can make good shape in response. Black peeps, and even black adds S8. And this is a very, I'll say, mature move. If you can understand why this move is so good, you are a very strong player. Again, it has to do with not getting sealed into the corner, and it has to do with also keeping pressure on the white side stones, or white's lower right stones. Because black might think playing a move here is big, and it is big, but white descending is such a huge move for the corner, for the side. It's just very good. So if you know when to play this kind of slide, you are a very strong player. So again, I call this a very mature move. So I answer, and then black again, look at this kind of move, right? Threatening to use the stone here, but not being all, oh, I have to save the stone, right? Peeps are made to be made and forgotten. You make peeps to see how your opponent answers, and then you forget about them. So black isn't trying to save the stone in any way, right? Like maybe playing here or something, right? But black's using the aji of that peep to get me to answer again. So I answer, and this is probably black's first slow move, because yes, it is sente, but I can answer it by blocking here. And this is nice because it hurts black's connection in the center. So I don't think black even needs to add that move. Like, black should just go elsewhere. But again, this is a very minor thing. It's even hard to say this is a mistake. I was just more of I felt happy being able to play at 08, which damages the 2 stones here. But black would view it as, well, if I didn't peep, right, if we did something like this, it'd be like you fixed locally to my move here, which is quite small. So maybe even black's happy with this exchange. So yes, so play there, turn, and then black plays here. So this was a big moment in the game because you only should risk things if you have to. You should only risk things if you have to. I'm keeping that kind of nebulous so I can show you what I mean. If this move works for black, black should do this one, because this is a more safe, secure way to lead into a victory, right? What black was worried about was white obviously playing at J9. And so the question is white getting J9 too much? And really, I would say no. The left side is big, but again, where's white's other points? Like, imagine, okay, white wants the center. Well, that means white will probably answer this move now. Or the left side, I mean. White will probably answer this move now. Because if white doesn't, well, obviously, playing moves like this are very annoying for white. White starts to lose a lot of points. If white answers, though, we can secure the upper left. And again, we can see the left side is starting to get smaller and smaller with every move. And again, where's white's other points? Sure, black doesn't have any huge areas of their own, but the idea is white only has one big area. And the key is this move is safe. When black plays here, it would be nice if white would just back off because we've reduced white, but I don't think white's going to back off. So I cover, black covers, or I push, black covers, I hane, black cuts, and then I ask in the lower left, This is me trying to get a forcing move on the bottom, although I completely mess up what I should have done here. Black descends, and then I peep. So this is wrong order by me, and I can show you why. So I want to affect black in the center. So I'm trying to get forcing moves. I'm trying to get this move in Sente, basically. Where when black fixes, now this move at H2 is going to hurt black's center ever so slightly. And then on my next move, I activate the K8 stone. So I wanted H2, basically, because I didn't want to see... Like, if I'm trying to cut off the bottom side, I didn't want to see black getting these kind of moves that help black live, basically. So I was trying to get this move first, but I messed up my order. I need to Hane and then make this connection. This is the best way to do it. And here's why. First off, this is threatening the corner. If black goes elsewhere, I can clamp. And basically, it's a two-step ko if black wants it to be. Otherwise, black dies. Because if black descends, I can cut and squeeze like this. And now black only has one eye. If black connects, I'll connect. There's no way to capture anything. And again, black has one eye, but one eye isn't enough. So this is the ko, where I can make this ko here. And yeah, this is also the nice thing about having your opponent have so many groups, is when groups are connected, it's harder to kill bigger groups. But when you have groups that are isolated and surrounded, it's a lot easier to find co-threats. So for example, a move like B14 would be a co-threat. If black ignores, then I kill the entire upper left. This is a dead shape. But again, if black ever... It is a two-step ko, where black can connect, but even then, I think white has a local threat of going here. Potentially. Like, it's definitely big enough. Like, if white can do this. Like, white is ripping up black's corner now. But even this, like, I think white still has threats. So, yeah, this would be too much. Yeah, I think white has, like, threats like this clamp and other moves like this. So, yeah. This would be Sente. So black would answer by going here, and now I have gotten my move at H2. I could then continue in the center. What I did was I peeped first, but the problem with peeping first is black answers. When I play H2, black can fix by playing the tiger's mouth. And this is threatening to cut. So if I do something in the center, black can simply cut me. So that's the problem. If I Hane first and force black to play F1, I'm already connected. I could continue in the center. But by playing here first, black can fix by playing G2. Because it's, again, this is why Tawari is so nice. It would be like this. If I do this, and then I would clamp, and then black gets G2. Because that's basically the order. So, yeah. I needed to just Hane and make a tiger's mouth. But in the game, I do this. And then black could have played G2. Even if I Atari and black connects, it's scary in the corner, but there shouldn't be any problems for life and death. Black should be able to make two eyes in this corner. But black doesn't fix by going here. Black knew black needed to fix, because this is Sente, because we would get to that ko variation like this. But black fixed by going here, which not only... doesn't affect white's connection here, but it also potentially is black playing inside of own territory. Although when you have a small group like this, you probably have to add stones on the inside anyways because you have to live. But again, like that means white can get this move later. And if you actually Atari, there's going to be a ko here. And again, if something like this happens, then actually white is going to threaten your whole group there. So if it means you have to fix by going here, then you're losing even more points. So black should just do this. Yeah, it's just the best move to play. Because when black goes here, now I activate in the center. And there's a lot of moves here that can work. I thought this was the best one, but basically black has enough weaknesses there to make this work. And this is also where me getting 08 is really helping my group here. So black attaches on top. Black was saying, okay, even if I do this, white is getting too much on the left side, which I would be inclined to agree with. Or even just Hane. Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with that. And black still has problems with the cut here. So black has to be careful. So black covers on top, but I can Atari and descend. And again, since I'm so strong right here, black has too many weaknesses. And we actually get a very interesting shape where I end up making the number one with my group here. And that number one can mean many things. But in this case, I like to think of it as I had one too many liberties for black to capture me. So I had just that one extra liberty. If I had one less liberty, none of this works. But because I have that one extra liberty, everything works here. But yeah, I love how this just makes a number one. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I've never made this shape in a game and have it be working or have it be good for me. So, but yeah, just to look at it, black has just too many cuts. There's just too much. There's a Hane at K10, there's a Hane here, there's a cut here. There's just too painful for black. So black connects, but I can cut. And again, if I had two liberties, like if I didn't have an extra liberty, I would just be captured here. But because I have that one extra liberty, like my group's shape says, something works here. And so I can Hane, and yeah, now I'm just out. So black goes elsewhere. Black plays the Goblin's Nose, connects. This is Sente, Atari, stand up. Black is getting extra forcing moves is the idea with this. Atari. And then this is black's plan, is to cut here. But my stone at H2 is, again, you can see is at a very nice spot where black has problems here with the G8 Atari, but also making a base for these bottom stones. So just all of a sudden, we can see even these 6 stones for black have just been cut off, just like that. So these are basically captured. These are about to be captured. It's just all of a sudden black's position crumbled, and it all started with one, black could have just given up here, just done this. And again, it probably doesn't feel great because you probably have to add an extra move to fix here. Maybe something like this. Hard to say. You don't want to do this for sure. But again, hey, at least your group is alive, and we can continue into middle game and then into end game. But black trying to make everything work made it harder for black. So I cut, black stands up, of course, and then I jump, and then black wedges, or makes a tiger's mouth, and then I Atari. And again, this is where black has a big decision. Am I going to fight this ko? Because again, the problem with this ko is it threatens the entire lower left group. Now, the thing with this ko for black is black has a local threat at least. Black can like Atari here. There's no way white's going to ignore this. And so now we have to ask, does white have a local threat? And I would say a push like this is a local threat. Like black could let me take the outside, but again, if we look at the result from the initial cut at K8, not only have I captured the initial cutting stone at J8, but I've also cut off the stones at M6. So even black saves the tail, I take the entire left side and now the center, and it's very painful for black. Very, very painful. In Sente as well. I don't think I need to answer J2. So I think this ko's a little too much. So black just connects. So I connect. And then black jumps here. I play L2. And black connects. And then I clamp. Black descends. Now here's an important thing. This is a very good shape to know. Is you need to know that black can still connect. So if I am not very careful, and let's say I play L1 and say, okay, I have an eye and you don't, I win. Black can connect underneath. Do you know how to do that? How well do you know your Tessugis? Black can connect by playing O2. Now O2 by itself, like here, ridiculous, right? Just gets cut and there's nothing you can do, right? nothing. But after you have a stone on the first line, it starts to work. Because if you cut, now when black descends, you cannot capture at N1 because you run out of liberties. And if you Atari at P1, black can connect. You can't Atari here because there's 2 cuts. You can't connect because black connects underneath. So we can see that black can connect under. So white needed to add a move. So I add one here. It's a very minor thing, but I think I should just Hane because I actually still win the semi-I even if I don't add an extra liberty. And yes, white wins the semi-I here because black needs to get rid of the I like this. And it looks like we have a lot of internal liberties that are shared, but because black needs to spend a lot of moves to fill this last one, white actually has enough. So let's say black is trying to fill the liberties. Cover here. So normally you wouldn't want to fill inside liberties, but again, black cannot play a J1, so black has to fill, and then I can Atari. So what that means is, that at worst for white, this is a Seki. So what that means is after this, black needs to take away the I here, but then I can push and cut here. And black is just in a lot of danger. Because again, if black wants this to be a Seki, obviously these stones on the outside need to remain alive, which that doesn't look very likely, does it? White is just too strong and black is just too weak. And yeah. So I can play P2 and threaten the corner is the idea. Later now I can play R2, which is huge. It's a huge move compared to just descending. This was me. That reading I did where I was like, oh, take out the I and I still win by 1. I truthfully did not read that. So that was lazy reading on my part. Black turns, plays there. But yeah, even here, black is dead. Because compared to the other variation, I had a stone at P2, but now I have one at N1. So black even has 1 less liberty. Push, push, push. Then black jumps. And then I pincer. This was me basically saying, if you want the lower left, you can. I have enough points elsewhere, which is probably true. But if a move works, you should just play it. So I should just play this move. If black attaches, I can descend and cut. And I'll be able to live here. If black plays the diagonal, which this is a shape I often tell people not to make, but it might be okay here. Same thing, though, I can push and cut. If black peeps, I can connect. And after the cut, black just has too many weaknesses. This Hane is too painful. You can't let white get this Hane. But if you let white get the Hane, I get to attach here. So black has too many problems here. But I go here. Black could play this kind of move. The idea being black will, again, probably... I can maybe kick first, but the idea is, again, at worst, it's a Seki. Or at best, it depends whose perspective you're looking at. Again, I'm willing to give them up. So at best, it's a Seki. At worst, I die. But again, I'm okay with sacrificing the lower left when I take a huge bottom. Look at all the stones I've captured in the center and the bottom. So, but black peeps, this gives me so many liberties. This gives me so many liberties. Because later, black, to get rid of liberties more efficiently, a better way would be to wedge here. This is how you prevent white from getting so many liberties. But when black peeps, I get so many liberties. Black kicks again, but now I jump. Now I'm definitely saying, okay, if you definitely want those 2 stones, I will happily take even more. So black says, nope, I don't. But I push, turn, and then cut. Black stands up, Hane. Black connects, and then I Hane. Black connects back. I connect back. Black bumps again. And again, even here, I can simply just connect, and this any semi-I here will be good for me. 4 liberties to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish liberties, 6 liberties. But I cut, and then just capture these, saying that's enough for me. Black clamps, that doesn't help. Black descends, I fix by going here. Black cuts, and then I descend because that's just a big endgame move. And black resigns after I descend here because, again, it's a position of I versus no I. So even if black takes away liberties, black can never fill in this last liberty. So yeah, after I went here, black resigned. After, again, black played very well in the opening, but it just kind of fell apart for black in the center. And it was too much, too big of a loss. But yeah, that was my 6th match. That means after this game, I was 6-0. Which, again, I was happy with having a positive record, but 6-0 with 3 more games means I can really give my team a lot of points. So I was definitely very happy with this game, and happy with how the tournament's been going so far. Because besides maybe a few bad eggs of games during the event so far, I'm very happy with how I am playing. But yeah, if you have any questions about this game, please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next video.